Hi everyone, it's April again. Welcome back to my channel. Please click the subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment or a question, and I will respond to all the comments and questions that you put out there. Today is part 3, Getting to Know Me. And I want to talk about a very difficult time in my life. And it is kind of serious, but it ends on a happy note, so listen all the way to the end. In 2001, I lost everything I had. My daughter got old enough to choose which parent to live with and went to live with her dad out of state. And my second marriage ended in divorce, so that was 2 marriages in the toilet. And then I lost my job, and then I lost my house, and all of that happened in about an 8-month period. So at the end of that 8 months, I pretty much had nothing. So I put my belongings in storage because I had to move out of my house, and I moved back in with my mother, and I was 38 years old. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of these things. I'm not being judgmental. I'm saying I lived through it. So I live in a glass house, and I promise I'm not throwing stones. So anyway, I moved back in with my mother, and I grieved for about a week and a half. I just grieved losing everything, and really took the time that I needed to do that. It was very important. And one day I woke up, and it had been maybe 2 weeks since I moved back in with my mother at that point. And I got out of bed, and I took a shower, and I cleaned up my room, and washed my clothes, and cleaned up the house, and I made dinner for my mother, who was still working at that time. And when she came home, I was fresh as a daisy, had dinner on the table, and told her I wanted to talk to her. And so we sat down to eat, and I said, I'm going to go to work for a temporary agency so that I have a paycheck coming in, and I can help with the bills around here as long as I live here. But I'm not taking a permanent job that's not exactly what I want. I have a unique opportunity at 38 years old to start my life over with 0 responsibility for anybody but me. And I'm going to make my life exactly how I want it. And I asked my mother for her support in this, and she agreed to support me. She said, I think that's very smart. And so that's what I did. I worked temporary for several companies, and one company offered me a really good permanent position, but I turned it down because I didn't care for the way that my co-workers talked about one of the managers. They called him a very ugly name behind his back, even the supervisor. And I thought that was very inappropriate, and I did not want to work for a company that would encourage their employees to speak poorly of a manager or even a coworker. You don't talk bad about your coworkers at all. At work, you provide good customer service, not only to your customers, which I was in the medical field, so it was patients, not only to your patients, but your coworkers are also the people that you need to provide good customer service to, so you need to be there for them. And I felt like this company was encouraging very poor customer service toward each other. And if they were saying such nasty things about a manager, what were they saying about me or the person next to me? And I just didn't like that. So I continued working temporary until I was offered a temporary position with one of the finest medical facilities in North Georgia, in my opinion. And I went to work for them temporary, and when they offered me a permanent position, I snatched it up because it was fantastic. I loved the people I worked with. I loved the company and everything it stood for. And I had a wonderful career, 13 years. I worked for that company, and it was just the best job in the world. I would have gone to work for free. I woke up every morning excited to go to work, and I had a great job. I had great coworkers, and I worked for a great company, and I made really, really good money. And so that was part of how I started over. And the second thing that I did in 2001 when I lost everything was I decided, okay, I've had 2 marriages that were very short. The first one was about 3 years, and the second one was about 2.5 years. And in between, there were 9 years of being single. I decided I just was not going to date, that I was going to take time to learn who I am as a single person and look at myself critically, not in a bad way, but to determine if there were personality traits or lifestyle traits that maybe I wasn't happy with. Things that I could change. You know, there are some things you can't change. I cannot be any taller. I think I have said it in every one of my videos. I'm 4 feet 8. I'm not going to be any taller. It's just not going to happen. But I could change personality traits that I didn't care for. I could change lifestyle traits that I didn't care for. And I could analyze what it was that I was doing wrong in relationships. Even though I can't take 100% responsibility for all of my dating years and my 2 failed marriages. I can't take 100% responsibility for that, but I can take responsibility for my part of that. And so I consciously did not date for about 5 years. And I have since met a wonderful, wonderful man who I am absolutely, totally in love with. And he is absolutely, totally in love with me. And we have a great life. I have 2 stepdaughters and 6 step-grandchildren, and of course my daughter and my 3 grandchildren. So I have a wonderful extended family. My husband has a brother and 2 sisters. All of them are married, and they have children, and they've all accepted me as part of their family, and I love them so very much. And so I have been blessed in the end to have taken that time to get to know myself and make better decisions about how to maintain a relationship, how to find a good man and maintain a relationship with a good man. And as my wonderful sister-in-law put it, she's married to my husband's brother. And I told her, I said, well, I got the best brother, but I'll let you contradict me. And she said, actually, I got the best brother. But my husband's sister said, you know what, I think we can all agree that we got the best man for us, because all 3 of our husbands are very different. And but we are 3 happily married women, so that says a lot about the men we're married to. So we did get the right man for us. And one of the other things I had to do when I lost everything in 2001 is I had to figure out how to get stress out of my life. I had to learn that no is a complete sentence. If you ask me to do something for you, do you a favor, or even just, meet up for dinner or lunch or, something like that, I can say no, and I don't owe you an explanation or anything. I can just say, no thank you, and move on. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people get offended by that, and I consider that their issue, not mine. I'm being truthful, I'm true to myself, I'm honest with myself. So if I cannot be honest with my friends or my family members, then if they can't handle that, that's their issue to deal with, not mine. And I don't invest much of myself into relationships that don't seem to have any momentum. If I come across someone who, meet someone new, a friend that wants something from me. For instance, I crochet, and I taught one of my husband's co-workers to crochet. It's been great for my anxiety and panic disorder to be able to crochet, so she wanted to learn and see if that would help with her anxiety. And so she was in my life for a season, but it wasn't meant to be a long-term friendship, and I didn't have a problem letting her go. And that's something I did before. I had a hard time letting go of friendships that really didn't have any value beyond what created them, which was a need that I had, or a need that they had that the other one could fulfill. And that reduced a lot of the stress in my life. So now at 55 and 16 years past losing everything I had, I have a very happy life and live virtually stress-free. There are still some stressful situations in my life that I choose to deal with, so I choose to deal with the consequences of that stress, which is usually a Crohn's flare-up or something like that. But if you ever get a chance in your life to start over and make your life what you want it to be, really think about that, and what is it that you do want your life to be like, and make that happen. And if you're a young person and you haven't come to the point in your life where you're as established as, say, a middle-aged person would be in who you are, don't forget, you can make your life exactly what you want it to be. And it's not up to anybody else what your life is. It's up to you. If you don't want to go to college because you don't know what you want to do with your life, then don't. I went back to school when I was 29 because that made more sense. And, make your life what you want it to be. Because it's the only life you've got. Be happy. Be stress-free. Get a job that you love. Do something that creates a passion in you, or something that you're passionate about. But be happy. And anytime you can make someone else smile or laugh, do that. I started way back in 2001 stopping police officers and shaking their hand when I see them out in public, or military personnel, or a firefighter, anybody that's a first responder, or whatever. I walk up to them and I say, "May I shake your hand, please? And thank you. Thank you for what you do to protect my community, or my country, or what have you." I just want them to feel appreciated, and want to make them smile. I want to make you smile. I want to make you laugh. And if I can lose everything, right down to the clothes on my back, and come through it on the other side, happy, healthy, wonderful, I have a wonderful life, I feel good about me. I'm sorry if you don't feel good about me, then, there's the door. Just keep on going. You don't have to like me. That's okay. As long as I do. So be somebody that you would respect. Somebody that you would be proud of. And make your life something that you can look back on and say, man, I have had a great ride. There's a joke that says, when I die, I'm going to come running into the cemetery, and I'm going to go sliding into home base to get in my casket screaming, woohoo! What a ride! And that's what I want to do. And that's how I've achieved it. So if you have any comments or questions about that, please leave them in the comment section below. And be prepared for part 4 because there's more. Have a great day and don't forget to laugh.